So a little bit of an example, as you can see on the screen, and I'm going to go through this as the PowerPoint goes along in more detail. Okay, but something that we had in the last podcast, one of the questions was, how do you sort of plan out your one-to-one session was the question, and how do you sort of do the blocks in between? So I mentioned 45-minute sessions, um, but a lot of coaches run hour-long sessions. So it's a case of how do you actually plan that from A all the way to the finish line. So we're going to go through a small group session focusing on 4 to 6 players. Okay, you can tailor this to how you need. If you have 8 players, it still works. If you have 2, 3, or 4 players, it probably will still work majority of it. So you always start your session off, and every coach knows this, with a warm up. Okay, the days of running laps and doing dynamic runs are long over with. Um, Especially if you're offering, your sort of coaching business. Well, what makes you different? Because at every club, I promise you, majority of grassroots clubs, they're going to be running laps in the first 5, 10 minutes. So what makes your program different is what the parents are going to be looking at. So immediately each player arrives and they've got a ball at their feet. Okay, and it's that sort of 5 minutes where they're just in an unopposed space, lots of touches on the ball. It might be a repetition of what they've done in the previous weeks, and just getting a feel for the ball, getting a feel for the surface, the environment. Is it a nice hot summer's day? You'll probably have kids a little bit more happy running around. Is it a cold, rainy night? Probably everyone's going to be a little bit, not fully energetic yet. So you want to get them going. And then we're going to focus today on how you deliver a ball mastery in passing and receiving practice. And that's the example that we'll show you. Okay. That doesn't mean every session has to look like this. This is just an example for this specific type of session. Now, when we launch our product, the 12 examples you'll have, for example, a ball mastery, passing and receiving, finishing, scanning, all of those sorts of things. So, but this is just the one that we wanted to show you guys. So after that initial 5 minute activation, you go into the ball mastery element, which is your sort of skill practice. Okay, so there's loads of them. We're going to put together 20 plus different skills and turns that you can coach your players to be really effective at, to help them in the game. Okay, now our ball mastery bit, because we're linking it to passing and receiving, we're going to immediately add the passing element into the session. Okay, and this part is really coach led, so you'll really lead in the detail on the skills, the turns, and the passing aspects of it. And you run this for probably 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, now plus your warm up and a little drinks break in between, you're probably looking at 20 minutes of your session done. Then we're moving into our technical part of the session. So this is our topic. So whatever you're working on that week, this is your main block. So for us, it's passing and receiving. And I'm going to go through the session design a little bit, like I said, in more detail. But we're going to offer you in the product different diamond practices. So you can work this with 4 players or more. And that sort of diamond shape, getting their passing and moving understanding. Triangle practices. So even if you have only a small group of 3 players, you can still work this stuff. And I'll show you that in more detail. And we're then going to move into what we call isolation practices. So this is sort of your next bit. So from your technical, you move into your isolating that skill in a competitive environment. So you're looking at attacking overloads. So 2 against 1. Okay. If you're focusing a defensive topic, it might be defending underloaded. So how do you defend as a 2 against 3? And again, in this part, you're looking at your coaching detail, and we're going to hopefully offer that in the product for you so you can have that sort of UEFA vibe of your technical and coaching detail. And we always finish, if we're working small groups, with some sort of small-sided game. Whether it's 2 against 2, whether it's 3 against 3, 4 against 4, whatever your numbers are, you finish with a small-sided game. Okay, and we're going to show you different ways to do that. So we have the constraint-led approach, which I'll talk through in more detail later. TGFU, so teaching games for understanding, and some other stuff that will get you through. And it's that transition of linking everything from the session and getting the outcomes in the game.